Hello, my name is Harriet, and I'm a former member of Jehovah's Witnesses. If you've seen any of the Critical Thinkers videos, you may have seen an interview that I gave with Lady C and JT, talking about my journey with the Witnesses, having been in it when I was young, from age 14 till 27, and then I was gone from it for 43 years, and then came back during the pandemic for just a short period of time. Got a little concerned about world conditions, and let myself be talked into giving it another try by a friend of mine. But I am gone again and plan to never return at this point in time. But I know it's a struggle. It's programming that's really hard to shake. And so I wanted to just put out some information on my own here, some things that have helped me in my healing process and in my moving away from this cult, because that absolutely is what it is, a cult, and we've been programmed by it to think certain ways, and it can be hard to shake. So I've come up with some information that I call Leaving the Watchtower and Finding Ourselves, a holistic view of healing. Many individuals leaving the Watchtower have experienced a range of emotions, from feelings of trauma, depression, isolation, loneliness, loss of self-esteem and self-worth, even suicidal ideations. We heard, just recently over this past Christmas of 2022 about a man killing his wife at the Kingdom Hall and killing himself. Those two, they say, had been disfellowshipped or had left the group and were struggling, I guess, with the decision as to whether they would come back. But they were in such anguish over that decision till he decided to, take her life and take his life. So our relationship with this group can be very volatile. And for that reason, I feel like those of us who have gotten out of it really need to extend a helping hand, if we can, to anyone who is still struggling with, trying to leave. So that's why I've come up with this information. So many people, have, as I said, are experiencing a range of emotions having left, but also many voice feeling a sense of freedom and a sense of joy that, their life is finally their own, away from this group. But everyone leaving, I think, feels a sense of loss, a sense of void, loss of our identity, and question our potential to move forward. So this information is therefore to help us begin to think about our future and begin taking control of our own destiny, realizing that our lives are just that, ours, not the property of a group of people who would tell us otherwise and control not only our behavior, but our very thought processes. Shaking off the chains, as it were, requires us to take an honest look, and an honest and self-examining look, being willing to admit that we bought into erroneous thinking and propaganda, which is counterproductive to our healthy growth and well-being. Realizing that we are among millions who have been duped by this group, we must not allow ourselves to live with feelings of overwhelming regret and shame. We should not hesitate to enlist the help of professionals, such as therapists or counselors or life coaches, if needed. Let us begin by asking ourselves a series of questions. At what point did we realize it was not the truth? Whether we were born into it or joined as adults, most people have a clear understanding, a clear answer to this question, and they can expound on the details on how we woke up and began to question and do critical thinking about this group. So to successfully move forward requires us to continuously sharpen our ability to do this type of critical thinking. We should also applaud ourselves for having woke up. Number two, how well do we really know ourselves? Facing this question honestly can be scary as we realize that the Watchtower has programmed us to think the way that they want us to. Their desire was and is to have people following a strict set of guidelines in order to serve the group's mission. Uniformity of thought and behavior is rule number one with this cult. And we must admit that we had been a part of a cult, a dangerous group seeking to control and manipulate others. Again, we should not be ashamed of the programming we receive, but we must begin to let go of it and be willing to make our own choices and decisions for our lives. In doing so, we must keep in mind that we are not perfect. No one is. And we will make mistakes. But we must continuously move toward that which is positive and healthy for ourselves. Number three, can we recognize when we are reverting to old programming? Again, this is going to take conscious effort to identify and avoid. Having our mind controlled by this group was all encompassing. We were taught how to think about all aspects of our lives, from our choices of associations, our manner of grooming and dress, our time management, entertainment choices, where we could work, and even with whom we could live, love, and form relationships. Our medical choices, too, were controlled, with people even sometimes dying due to refusing needed medical care. Disengaging this type of programming and being able to move forward without guilt, consternation, and anxiety will take a lot of continuous conscious effort on our part. We should seek a support group of people who understand what we've been going through, or what we may still be going through, and reach out to them regularly. Our minds can no longer be on autopilot, so to speak. Number four, where do we go from here? Natural laws tell us that everything that is left void will be filled by something. The key here is to fill the void with things which are positive and productive for our lives. For many people leaving the organization, this is the most difficult hill to climb. Many people will have conflicts with their spouses, their family members who are still a part of the organization. Some individuals have been abandoned or asked to move out with little to no means of supporting themselves on their own. This may require seeking the help of government public assistance programs or contacting friends or other family members for help. Keep in mind, though, that minors cannot legally be made to leave their home and should contact law enforcement if they are being tossed out by disgruntled parents who are not happy with their decision to stop participating in Watchtower activities. So kids, you do have a say about leaving. You do not have to, if you're under 18 years old, you do not have to be forced out of your home. Call the police. Many of us did not go to college and have limited employment options for increasing our wealth. This may require us to look at new educational and career options. It may also require us to take jobs which may not be our ideal choice, but will allow us to support ourselves independently until we can move forward. Again, the most important thing here is to make and follow clear choices of what is best for us as we move forward, reclaiming our identity and our lives. Engaging in counterproductive behaviors such as heavy drinking, while partying, illicit drug use, etc., hurts no one but ourselves. So don't let yourself be drawn into behavior such as that, which is counterproductive for your health and well being. Don't throw yourself a pity party for too long, in other words. Know that you've got to move forward and look that person in the mirror and say, I love you and I want you to do well. So we should not be afraid to set goals for ourselves as we travel this new path for our lives. Setting both short and long-term goals will enable us to look toward and plan for our future. We no longer have to maintain the mentality of happiness only being possible after Armageddon. Remember, each of us were given free will and enough intelligence to manage our own lives. We must resist the urge then to look back, regretting and feeling ashamed that we have wasted so much time. There is no way to recoup days lost, but we can make the most of those which we still have. Our attitude should be one of gratefulness for having woke up and having the courage to move forward. So this is just one of several videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be, again, discussing a holistic approach to healing. Our minds, our bodies, our spirit, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. How do we recover and move forward? I hope you will tune in to my next video. This is EXJW Healing Strategies. Look for me on this YouTube channel. Like my channel if you do like it. And take care. Leave me a comment. Thank you. Bye-bye.